People thought I could never ever be your queen, but I never gave up. I became
Every child a reader despite the pandemic. Eastern Bacoor National High School celebrates National Reading Month. Join us on our Culminating program on December 10, 2021.
To formally start our program, may I invite everyone to join us for the prayer, the singing of the national anthem and Bacoor hymn through audio-visual presentation.
Heavenly Father, I am grateful for your eternal presence. I am learning to be patient and that you are really there. Sometimes I am afraid, and I know that's lacking faith, but I'm beginning to understand that for me you have a plan. Heavenly Father, I am grateful for you sending your Son to die so that I'd live, and for never giving up. I'm learning every day that I won't always have my way, but I'm beginning to understand that for me you have a plan. Heavenly Father, I am grateful for you hearing my prayer. I am learning to be patient and that you are really there. There are answers I'm receiving. No, they're not always immediate. Sometimes I have felt defeated. That's when I kneel down in prayer. You show me you hear my prayer. I'm amazed by how you care, 'cause you hear my little prayer.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
nagsisigil sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ang pagaw ay hinatang tula kawin sa pagkayang minamahal ang isang ng patawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitindig ang bituin at karon niya kailan pamay di magtitindig lupa ng araw ng walhagit pagsinta buhay langit sa piling mo ang inigaya ng pagkay mga api at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Bagong Bacoor, lungsod ka ng mga magigiting. Walang katulad ang aking naming galing, matyaga at mabilis sa gawain. Sa kasipagan, kaagapay kaunlaran. Sa Bacoor, aasenso, ulat pang buhay mo. Kung masipag lang, mga tahong masin talaga at iba pang lamang dagat, kakanin sa balsa, halo-halong masarap. Nagpapatunay, Bacoor ay maunlad, malapit sa may kapal, kaya tayo'y magtulungan, tulong kailangan. Tulay ng zapote, simbolo ng mga Bacooreño. Sina Evangelista Ocampo Cuenca, Gomez ay ilan lamang sa kanila. Kung nais niyong makitang lahat ng ito, handa kaming sumalubong na may banda't musiko. Halina sa Bacoor, pabahay ay laganap na, trabaho'y dumarami pa, professional, vocational, komersyo, masenso. Lungsod ng Bacoor, dapat nating mahalin, mga taong nanunungkulan, pulusot, pinangunahan ang katuwang namin. Bagong Bacoor, lungsod na pinagpala, ating ipagmalaki ang bagong lungsod ng Bacoor. Mapalad ang bagong Bacoor. Mabuhay!
Hello, Esternians! Thank God it's Friday. What a pleasant day to celebrate the culmination of all the activities of the National Reading and Book Month Celebration 2021 with the theme, Bawat Bata Bumabasa sa Kabila ng Hamon ng Pandemya. And with that, let us listen to an opening message from our supportive and hardworking school head, Mr. Alfredo N. Sarabusab.
The different events in today's culminating activity, such as story reading, book cover making contest, parade of literary characters, and the search for the best reading practice at home, shows our part in promoting English language. It is really important that we have to take part for this advocacy, knowing the power of language in uplifting human lives and its contribution to country's economy. 2.16 million of the Filipinos are OFWs, figuring that Pinoys are in demand abroad because of our proficiency in English language. Same with the Filipinos competing for beauty contests and personality contests, wherein major international titles and crowns were brought home. Likewise, the singers, performers, and theater artists who were recognized and praised and commended at international stage, participating at raising efforts of enriching English language competence must be everyone's business, especially here in school. We have to ensure that our skills in listening, speaking, viewing, writing, representing, reading, and responding are practiced and improving. As what is stated in K-12 Basic Education Curriculum Framework, making meaning through language seems to be articulating that language affects our lives, as it is an instrument of our thoughts and also a foundation of human relationship. Language is indeed part of our culture, of our lives. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words. To give us a heartwarming message, let us all give a virtual round of applause to our Education Program Supervisor. Let us all welcome Dr. Juliet R. De Jesus.
To all the participants in this 2021 Pambansang Buwan at Araw ng Pagbasa, headed by your dedicated and hardworking principal, Sir Alfredo Sarabusab, to the ever-supportive Master Teacher, Ma'am Mary Ann Banyaga, to all our indefatigable teachers, learners and their parents and stakeholders, a blissful day to all. It is with esteemed honor and privilege to attend in the celebration of your Reading Month. Thank you for initiating this activity as an integral part of our English curriculum. Despite that we are still in the pandemic, we managed to create such an activity like this because we cannot afford to let this month pass without sharing and celebrating the Reading Month for our Batang Bacooreños. What we are celebrating for this month of November is in recognition of reading significance in developing the communication and language skills of our learners, as well as cultivating their critical thinking skills vital to be empowered citizens of the 21st century. All schools in the country are celebrating the National Reading Month of November. We recognize that reading is an important skill that a learner should learn for one to be successful in his or her studies. A child's reading skills are important to their success in school as they will allow them to access the breadth of the curriculum and improve their communication and language skills. In addition, reading can be fun and imaginative time for children, which opens doors to all kinds of new worlds for them. You can make a huge difference. Teachers and parents are the most important educators in a child's life, and it is never too early to start reading together. Your collaborative and tireless efforts in making your school a better place for learning will be much appreciated. Continue to soar high and be the model school for reading advocates, where you can reach the zero non-reader. Congratulations to all of you, and may God continue to bless you, and the graces of God be with you all. With a grateful heart, good luck in your endeavor. Thank you very much, and God bless us, everyone.
November 8 to 24, the English Department of the Eastern Bacoor National High School opened 5 various reading-related contests and engaging activities to the whole school community to keep the spirit of reading alive. Now, we'll proceed to the presentation of mechanics to be given to us by our talented, competent, and inspiring selected English teachers.
Here is the mechanics of the Literary Characters Virtual Parade Contest. The first one, the contest is open to all interested junior high school students of Eastern Bacoor National High School. Second, each grade level has a designated area of literature Therefore, the character inspiration shall come from the following areas accordingly: the Grade 7, Philippine Literature; the Grade 8, Afro-Asian Literature; Grade 9, English American Literature; and Grade 10, World Literature. The third mechanics: each literary character shall prepare a short introduction or spiel of at least 1 minute entry. As deemed necessary, emphasize the character's background and his or her famous lines in the field of literature. The fourth one, the official contest entry in each grade level is in video format and of high definition. Furthermore, it must be in landscape orientation or position and shall be uploaded via Google Drive for evaluation. The fifth one, the participant is encouraged to wear any available costume of choice at home. Using props and other materials for presentation is allowed. The sixth and the last, after thorough evaluation of performance, judges shall declare the winners of the literary parade. The decision of jury is final and irrevocable. While the criteria for judging includes the content quality, which is 30%, and it will judge the quality of introduction, accuracy of details, and clarity of statement. The second one, which is the eloquence and voice projection, 25%. It includes the delivery, articulation, intonation, voice quality, and vocal expression. The third one, which has also another 25%, is the editing and cinematography, which includes the videography. Audio includes technical excellence, structure, composition, lighting, style, color, sound, music, transition, and appealing style. And the last one is the costume and execution of materials, which is 20%, which includes the applicability and appropriateness of costume, including the smooth execution of the materials, which has a total of 100%. Thank you.
Hi! Here are the guidelines and criteria for judging in selection for Best Digital Storyteller per grade level. Guidelines. The contest is open to all interested junior high school students of Eastern Bacoor National High School. Reading facilitators in each grade level shall conduct core contests with the participants. In addition, each grade level shall provide one official literary material that serves as the contest piece. Digital storytelling piece to be assigned shall cover the following areas of literature accordingly. For grade 7, Philippines; for grade 8, Afro-Asian; for grade 9, English American; and World for grade 10. The official contest entry in each grade level is in video format MP4 and of high definition. These shall be uploaded via Google Drive for evaluation. The participant may use any available editing platform to present his or her digital storyboard. Furthermore, applying personal editing techniques or strategies is encouraged. The participant as digital storyteller will have a minimum of 3 minutes and maximum of 10 minutes to present his or her work. After thorough evaluation of performance, judges shall declare one of the best digital storyteller in each grade level. The decision of the jury is final and irrevocable. Now, for criteria for judging. Content quality and organization, 40%. It has something to do with the quality of narration, accuracy of details, and sequential. Originality and creativity of the storyboard is 25%. It talks about original, fresh, external expression of the imagination of the creator by using the medium to convey an idea, message, or thought. And another 25% for editing and cinematography. It has something to do with videography. Audio includes technical excellence, structure, composition, lighting, style, color, sound, music, transition, and appealing narration. And of course, 10% for time management, a total of 100%.
Here are the mechanics of the activity. Virtual storytelling. Best virtual storyteller per grade level. Number 1. The contest is open to all interested junior high school students of Eastern Bacoor National High School. Number 2. Reading facilitators in each grade level shall conduct core contests with the participants. In addition, each grade level shall provide one official literary material that serves as the contest piece. Number 3. Virtual storytelling piece to be assigned shall cover the following areas of literature accordingly. Philippine literature for grade 7. Afro-Asian literature for grade 8. English American literature for grade 9. And word literature for grade 10. Number 4. The official contest entry in each grade level must be video recorded, file format MP4, and to be uploaded via Google Drive. Number 5. The participant or the storyteller may wear school uniform or any costume of choice. Wearing any costume is not compulsory and using props is optional. Number 6. Minimum of 3 minutes and maximum of 10 for the length of virtual presentation. Number 7. After thorough evaluation of performance, judges shall declare one best virtual storyteller in each grade level. The decision of jury is final and irrevocable. Thank you.
Hello, Estonians! Good day to all. How are you doing today? It's National Reading Month celebration, and one of the most remarkable parts of this culminating activity is the book cover making. So now, let me show you or discuss the contest mechanics. By the way, this is Sir Justin Angelo Braun, pleasured to be with you this morning. Number 1. This activity is for all junior high school students of Eastern Bacoor National High School. Second, reading facilitators in each grade level shall provide one official literary piece from a localized and contextualized reading selection. The focus is the city of Bacoor in the province of Cavite. Now, here are the literary selections that you will use. Grade 7 will have the first Malacanang of the Republic of the Philippines. Grade 8 will use Heroes of Bacoor. Grade 9 will have Bacooreño Spiritual Haven. And grade 10 will take Cavite, the next metro of the Philippines. The third reminder, book cover or book jacket shall be made out of a short bond paper as its base, art materials, and the like. Illustrations, printed photos, personalized design, or any available materials at home may be used. Now, the fourth reminder, document the process of book cover or book jacket making through taking photos. And then, submit the photos of the output to the respective reading facilitators for further evaluation. Now, sir, how am I going to submit? For the official contest entries, submit via Google Drive or during the retrieval of learning outputs. Check your schedule for that one. And now, the decision of the evaluators or jury is final and irrevocable. So this book cover making will undergo the process of evaluation before we officially announce the winners. Now, let's look into the criteria for judging. Number 1, content and quality, 40%. Title and author are clearly shown and mechanics of writing are observed. Layout and use of colors, headings, and images make it easy to find and understand information about the reading selection. Design and composition has 30%. It uses images, graphics, and various colors to engage viewers. Images and color convey emotions that give viewers its narrative value. Visual appeal has 25%. The book cover or the book jacket is visually attractive and compelling. And the last part, punctuality. It has 5% with a total of 100%. I hope I made these things clear. Thank you, everybody. And I strongly believe that this Book Month celebration highlights this quotation. Our reader today is the leader of tomorrow. For more updates and announcements, just check Eastern Bacoor National High School's official page, contact number, and email. Have a great day, everybody, and let's keep on reading.
Hello, Starnians! Welcome! Here is the mechanics for best practices at home for reading. Our first mechanics is that this activity is for all junior high school students of Eastern Bacoor National High School. Second, the conduct of this activity is in connection with this year's theme, Bawat Bata Bumabasa sa Gitna ng Hamon ng Pandemya. Third, learners shall take at least 2 to 4 photos that showcase the best practices in reading at home. Submit a collage out of the photos taken showing any of the following practices: personal reading strategies, love for reading, peer reading, parent-learner reading session, and the like. Fourth, document the process of the best practices in reading at home through taking photos. Prepare a simple yet impactful caption for the collage and submit it to the respective reading facilitators in the grade level for monitoring purposes and further evaluation. Fifth, for blended distance learning students, they may submit via Google Classroom or Google Drive, while modular distance learning students are advised to submit during the retrieval of the weekly outputs or via official chat room. Let's proceed with the criteria for judging. Content, quality, and originality is grade 40%. The reading practices or strategies shown significance of the activity. Freshness of imagination, creativity, and individuality is shown. Delivery of the message is 30%. The primary message, theme, and purpose of the activity are clearly expressed. Visual impact, which is 25%. The material is excellently crafted, including the style and appeal to the audience. And lastly, punctuality, which comprises of 5%, a total of 100%, and that's it for the mechanics and criteria for the best practices at home for reading.
It's the end of the month and the weekend. I'ma spend this track, everything on me, yeah. I'ma tip myself, I'ma spend it on myself. I'ma drop it like it's pouring, I'ma pour it on myself. Check, 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 check the money making bank account number. That's never getting bounced on your bitch. I do the money dance, I just made 100 bands. When the stars say sign for it, I'ma leave my autograph. Dollar bills, watch it falling for me. I like the way that feels. Dollar bills, so yummy, yeah. Drop some money, dropping all my money. Drop some money, oh this food so yummy, yeah. My money moves, money I choose. Leave my shoes, walking on you. My money rules, my money moves, money I choose. Watch my walls, yes, walls are dropping on you. Drop, drop, drop. Dropping on you. Dropping on you.
Thank you, teachers! So now, the most awaited event of all, the awarding of winners from our recently concluded contest.
Reading in this day and age has become even more important as we celebrate the National Reading Month with the theme Every Child Reads Despite the Pandemic. We are proud to present this year's victorious for the following competition: Virtual Storytelling, Digital Storytelling, Book Cover, Best Practices, and the much awaited event, the Parade of Literary Characters. Our third category, the book cover contest, surely ignites the creativity of our contestant. Let us all be astonished by our finalists' masterpieces. Out of 15 finalists, congratulations to our 3 champions. From Grade 8 Banalo, Jamila Rodriguez. From Grade 9 Macapagal, Gerald Navidad. From Grade 10 Toronto, Iona Puno. using multimedia tools to bring narratives to life. Here's our next category, digital storytelling. Here are the finalists. In this category, let us witness the winning pieces of our four champions. To begin with, here is Maria Michaela Arteta from grade 7 Diwa.
How the world was created. One of the stories about the creation of the world, which the old folks of Panay, especially those living near the mountain, do not tire of relating, tell us that in the beginning there was no heaven or earth, only a bottomless deep and a world of mist. Everything was shapeless and formless. The earth, the sky, the sea, and the air were almost all mixed up. Then from the depth of this formless void, there appeared two gods, Tungkong Langit and Alonsina. Just where the two deities came from, it was not known. However, it is related that Tungkong Langit fell in love with Alonsina, and after so many years of courtship, they got married and had their abode in the highest realm of the eternal space, where the water was constantly warm and the breeze was forever cool. Tungkong Langit was an industrious, loving, and kind god whose chief concern was how to impose order over the whole setup of things. He assumed responsibility for the regular cosmic movement. On the other hand, Alonsina was a lazy, jealous, and selfish goddess whose only work was to sit by the window of their heavenly home and amuse herself with her pointless thoughts. Sometimes, she would go down from the house, sit down by a pool near their doorstep, and comb her long jet black hair all day long. One day, Tungkong Langit told his wife that he would be away from home for some time to put an end to the chaotic disturbances in the flow of time and in the position of things. The jealous Alonsina, however, sent the sea breeze to spy on Tungkong Langit. This made the latter very angry upon knowing about it. Immediately after his return from the trip, he called this act to her attention, saying that it was ungodly of her to be jealous. There being no other creature living in the world except the two of them, this reproach was resented by Alonsina, and a quarrel between them followed. Tungkong Langit lost his temper. In this rage, he divested his wife of powers and drove her away. No one knew where Alonsina went. She merely disappeared. Several days after Alonsina left, however, Tungkong Langit felt very lonely. He realized what he had done. Somehow, it was too late even to be sorry about the whole matter. The whole place, once vibrant with Alonsina's sweet voice, suddenly became cold and desolate. In the morning when he woke up, he would find himself alone, and in the afternoon when he came home, he would feel the same loneliness creeping deep in his heart because there was no one to meet him at the doorstep or soothe the aching muscles of his arms. For months, Tungkong Langit lived in utter desolation. He could not find Alonsina, try hard as he would. And so, in his desperation, he decided to do something in order to forget his sorrows. For months and months he thought. His mind seemed pointless, his heart weary and sick, but he must have to do something about his loneliness. One day, while he was sailing across the regions of the clouds, a thought came to him. He would make a big basin of water below the sky so that he can see the image of his wife if she were just somewhere in the regions above. And the sea appeared. However, Alonsina was never seen. After a long time, the somber sight of the lonely sea irritated Tungkong Langit. So he came down to the middle world and created the land. Then he planted these with grasses, trees, and flowers. He took his wife's treasured jewels and scattered them in the sky, hoping that when Alonsina would see them, she might be induced to return home. The goddess' necklace became the star, her comb the moon, and her crown the sun. However, despite all of this, Alonsina did not come back. And up to this time, the folks in Panay say that Tungkong Langit is alone in his palace in the skies. Sometimes, he would cry out of his pent-up emotions, and his tears would fall down upon the earth. The people say that Tungkong Langit's tears, and that is why in some localities in the island of Panay, the first rain in May is received with much rejoicing and sacrifice. Incidentally, when it thunders hard, the old folks also say that it is Tungkong Langit sobbing or calling for his beloved Alonsina to come back, and treating her so hard that his voice thunders across the fields and the countryside. The end.
Our next winner is from Grade 8 Camposanto. A virtual applause to Rachela, May, Ivy, and Manansala.
Outwitting a Crocodile, a traditional Malaysian folktale. Sandcastle is a clever, tricky mouse deer, who is always finding himself in predicaments with animals that want to eat him or harm him, but he cleverly manages to escape each time. In this story, Sandcastle outwits a big, bad crocodile. Sandcastle lived along the river, and there were a lot of leaves there, so he never had trouble in finding food. He spent his time running and kazana jumping and looking into the river. Sambuaya lived along the river, together with the other crocodiles. They were always waiting to catch Sandcastle for dinner. One day, when Sandcastle was walking along the river, he saw some delicious fruits on the other side of the river. Sandcastle wanted to taste the tasty-looking fruit, because he was a little bit tired of eating leaves. He tried to think of the way to cross the river, but he had to be careful. He didn't want to be caught and eaten by Sambuaya, the big, bad crocodile. Sandcastle suddenly had an idea. He called out the crocodile, "Sambuaya! Sambuaya! Sambuaya!" Sambuaya slowly came out of the water and asked Sandcastle why he was shouting his name. "Aren't you afraid I will eat you?" Then he opened his big mouth very wide to scare Sandcastle. Sandcastle said, "Of course I am afraid of you, but the king wants me to do something. He is having a big feast with lots of food, and he is inviting everyone, including you and all the other crocodiles. But first, I have to count all of you. He needs to know how many of you will come. Please line up across the river, so I can walk across your heads and count all of you." Sambuaya was excited and left to tell to the other crocodiles about the feast with all the good food. Soon, they came and made a line across the river. Sandcastle said, "Promise not to eat me, or I can report to the king how many of you are coming." They promised not to eat him. Sandcastle stepped on Sambuaya's head and counted 1. Then he stepped on the next and said 2. He stepped on each crocodile, counting each one, and finally reached the other side of the river. Then he said to Sambuaya, "Thank you for helping me to cross the river to my new home." Sambuaya was shocked and angry. He shouted at Sandcastle, "You tricked us! There is no feast, is there?" All of the crocodiles looked at Sambuaya angrily. They were angry because he let Sandcastle trick all of them. Sandcastle loved his new home on the other side of the river because he had a lot of tasty food to eat. Poor Sambuaya was not so lucky. After that, none of the other crocodiles ever talked to him again.
Applaud to our next winner. Here is Princess Celine Batislaong from Grade 9 Duterte.
Once, there was a great warrior named Beowulf from Geatland, which can be found in southwestern Sweden. He was the son of Ectho, who was a good friend of Hrothgar. One day, the young warrior comes to the Skyding's aid, bringing with him 14 of his finest young men. Hrothgar once sheltered Beowulf's father during a deadly feud, and the mighty Geat hopes to return the favor while enhancing his own reputation and gaining treasure for his king, Hygelac. The king of the Danes called Beowulf due to a giant ogre named Grendel, who comes by every night and starts a killing spree, causing the king of the Danes to lose many of his people. At a feast before nightfall of the first day of the visit, an obnoxious drunken skydling named Unfer insults Beowulf and claims that the Geat visitor once embarrassingly lost to a swimming contest to a boyhood acquaintance named Berka, and is no match for Grendel. Beowulf responds with dignity by putting Unfer in his place. In fact, the two swimmers were separated by a storm on the 5th night of the contest, and Beowulf had slain 9 sea monsters before finally returning to the shore. They continued to drink some more afterwards before going to sleep. While the Danes retired to a safer sleeping quarters, Beowulf and the Geats bed down in Heorot, fully aware that Grendel will visit them. He does. Angered by the joy of the men in the med hall, the ogre furiously bursts in on the Geats, killing one and then reaching for Beowulf. With the strength of 30 men in his hand grip, Beowulf seizes the ogre's claw and does not let go. The ensuing battle nearly destroys the great hall, but Beowulf emerges victorious as he rips Grendel's claw from its shoulder socket, sending the mortally wounded beast fleeing to his mere pool in the nearby lake. The claw trophy hangs high under the roof of Heorot, given to Hrothgar by Beowulf as a gift. The Danes celebrate the next day with a huge feast featuring entertainment by Hrothgar's shop, a professional bard who accompanies himself on a harp and sings or chants traditional lays such as an account of the Danes' victory at Finnsburg. This bard also improvises a song about Beowulf's victory. Hrothgar's wife, Winwethau, proves to be a perfect hostess, offering Beowulf a gold collar and her gratitude. During the celebration, Unferth apologizes about his earlier actions and gifts Beowulf a sword. Filled with mead, wine, and great food. The entire party retires for what they expect to be the first peaceful night in years. But Grendel's mother, not quite as powerful as her son, but highly motivated, climbs to Heorot that night, retrieves her son's claw, and murderously abducts one of the Scyldings, Asher, while Beowulf sleeps elsewhere. The next morning, Hrothgar, Beowulf, and a retinue of Scyldings and Geats follow the mother's tracks into the dark forbidding swamp and to the edge of Vermeer. The slaughtered Asher's head sits on a diff by the lake, which hides the ogre's underground cave. Carrying a sword called Hrunting, a gift from the chastised Unferth, Beowulf dives into the mere to seek the mother. Near the bottom of the lake, Grendel's mother attacks and holds the Geat warrior to her dimly lit cave. Beowulf fights back once inside the dry cavern, but the gift sword, Hrunting, strong as it is, fails to penetrate the ogre's head. The mother moves to kill Beowulf. The magic sword melts, returned to Geatland, rules successfully for 50 years. Like Hrothgar, however, his peace is shattered in his declining years. Beowulf must battle one more demon. Several homes. On Thane, we laugh and request whenever they pass.
Our last winner is from grade 10 Alcala. Let's all be amazed by her masterpiece. Here is Angela Gabrielle Solamo.
A short story by Edgar Allan Poe. It is impossible to say how the idea first entered my head. There was no reason for what I did. I did not hate the old man. I even loved him. He had never hurt me. I did not want his money. I think it was his eye. His eye was like the eye of a vulture. The eye of one of those terrible birds that watch and wait while an animal dies and then fall upon the dead body and pull it to pieces to eat it. When the old man looked at me with his vulture eye, a cold feeling went up and down my back. Even my blood became cold. And so, I finally decided I had to kill the old man and close that eye forever. So you think that I am mad? A madman cannot plan, but you should have seen me. During all of that week, I was as friendly to the old man as I could be, warm and loving. Every night about 12 o'clock, I slowly opened his door, and when the door was opened wide enough, I put my hand in, and then my head. In my hand, I held the light covered over with a cloth so that no light showed, and I stood there quietly. Then carefully I lifted the cloth just a little so that a single, thin, small light fell across that eye. For 7 nights I did this. 7 long nights. Every night at midnight. Always, the eye was closed. So it was impossible for me to do the work. For it was not the old man I felt I had to kill. It was the eye. His evil eye.
Reading is important because it makes you more empathetic, knowledgeable, and stimulates your imagination. To become a successful reader, here are our finalists showing their best practices. For this category, 4 champions had topped them all. Congratulations, Rica May Aras from Grade 7 Bilarmino.
What are the basic communication principles? In the aspect of communication, there are basic. I enjoy reading with my family and siblings. The term of civil service means the professional body of men and women who have made of the government service a lifetime career. It has also been used to refer to
can you give to your fellow students reading at home?
I want to share this reading practice with you so you can still enjoy reading at home. Thank you for watching. This is Rika May Aras saying goodbye.
It's Saint Andes from grade 8 Aniban. Kian Jewel Astihada from grade 9 Laurel. Kennevic C. Deluay from grade 10 Selianco. Now, here are our finalists for the virtual storytelling competition. Congratulations! For this category, 3 winners had become victorious. Let us listen to our first champion from grade 7 Felipe. Here's Lovella Princess Cordero.
Good day everyone! My name is Lovella Princess B. Cordero, grade 7 from section 1 Felipe. How the world was created. In the beginning, everything was shapeless and formless. The earth, the sky, the sea, and the air were almost mixed up. In a word, there was only confusion. Then, from the depth of this formless void, there appeared the god Tungkung Langit and the goddess Alunsina. It was not known just where these two deities came from, but it is related by old Visayan folk that Tungkung Langit fell in love with Alunsina. After he had courted her for many years, they married and made their home in the highest part of heaven. There, the water was always warm and the breeze was forever cool. In this place, order and regularity began. Tungkung Langit was a loving, hard-working God who wanted to impose order over the confused world. He decided to arrange the world so that the heavenly bodies would move regularly. On the other hand, Alunsina was a lazy, jealous, selfish goddess. She sat at the window all day doing nothing. Sometimes she would leave her home, sit down by a pool near the door, and comb her long jet black all day long. One day, Tungkung Langit told his wife that he would be away for some time. He said he must make time go on smoothly and arrange everything in the world. When he was gone, Alunsina set the priest to spy on Tungkung Langit. Tungkung Langit found this out and he became very angry. After he returned home, he told her that it was ungodly of her to be jealous since there were no other gods in the world except the two of them. Alunsina resented this reproach and they quarreled. In his anger, Tungkung Langit drove his wife away. No one knew where she went. Several days later, Tungkung Langit felt very lonely. He realized that he should not have lost his temper, but it was too late. Once vibrant with Alunsina's sweet voice, his home became cold and desolate. In the morning, when he woke up, he would find himself alone. In the afternoon, when he came home, he would feel the same loneliness creeping deep in his heart because there was no one to meet him at the doorstep or soothe the aching muscles of his arms. For months, Tungkung Langit was in utter desolation. He could not find Alunsina, try hard as he would. And so, in desperation, he decided to do something in order to forget his sorrows. For months and months, he thought, but his mind seemed pointless. His heart weary and sick. He needed something to ease his lonely world. One day, while he was sailing across the regions of the clouds, a thought came to him. He would make the sea and the earth and the sea suddenly appeared. However, the somber sight of the lonely sea and the barren land irritated him. So he came down to earth and planted the ground with trees and flowers. Then he took his wife's treasured jewels and scattered them in the sky, hoping that when Alunsina would see them, she might be induced to return home. The goddess' necklace became the stars, her comb the moon, and her crown the sun. However, despite Tungkung Langit's efforts, Alunsina did not come back. Until now, some elders of Panay say Tungkung Langit lives alone in his palace in the skies. Sometimes he would cry out his pent-up emotion, and his tears would fall down on the earth. When it thunders hard, it is Tungkung Langit sobbing, calling for his beloved Alunsina to come back, entreating her so hard that his voice reverberates across the fields and the countryside.
Our next champion is from grade 9 Aquino. Let's hear it from Patrick S. Cleope.
Once there was a lion-hearted king who was crowned king of the Danes. A fearless warrior, he boldly fought in battles and brought victories for his people. With the success he found in warfare, the king became rich and mighty. One day, the king taught his people to serve as symbol for their greatness and legacy. With his wealth and power, he pronounced the construction of a magnificent mead hall. The mighty king Hrothgar named his mead hall Herald. There stood the magnificent hall, in which the loyal warriors would feast and listen to the epic tales told by the Scots. Everything was going excellently, but the serenity of the hall would not last. Lurking in the darkness, the wicked Grendel was awoken and angered by the noise of the celebration above. The following nights, the monster would raid the hall and feed on the flesh of his victims. Eventually, no warrior was daring enough to sleep in the hall in fear of being devoured by Grendel. But Grendel's reign of terror would soon come to an end. A young warrior of the Geats, Beowulf, offered to challenge Grendel. He and his legion arrived in the hall. While the rest were sleeping, the great hero was eyeing the hall. During the night, the air was cold and tense, though Beowulf did not fear Grendel at all. As he had foreseen, Grendel appeared and killed one warrior. Beowulf challenged Grendel into a fight, where Beowulf fought with bare hands. With his powerful grip, the hero pulled Grendel's arm. Grendel fled the place and died a painful death. Beowulf gave the arm and was hung as a trophy of his victory. After the intense battle, the king and his people would celebrate once again for the great Beowulf who emerged victorious. But that was not the end of Harold's terror. The doom and gloom haunted the hall once again. That night, the wicked mother of Grendel arrived at Harold. Full of vengeance and hatred for the Danes and warriors, she killed Astier, a remarkable advisor of the king Hrothgar. She fled to her home, and the warriors followed the trails of the monster. Beowulf entered the lake and battles with Grendel's mother. The great hero fought in the cave, but the sword lent to Beowulf did not work. Beowulf hastily went to the treasure hoard and used the sword he had found there to kill Grendel's mother. After he had slain the wicked mother, he found Grendel's corpse lying on the ground. Beowulf beheaded the monster and brought the head to the hall. As Beowulf returned to the Geats land, he was received warmly by the king Haishla. After the king was slain by the Swedes, his young son reigned with Beowulf's support. And when the young king, Beardred, passed away, Beowulf took the throne. One day, a thief found a root to an old barrow. In the old barrow there lay a treasure trove guarded by a dragon. The thief attempted to steal the cup, but he was sighted by the creature. This angered the dragon. The large creature proceeded to burn and pillage the land, including Beowulf's mead hall. In spite of his old age, the great hero decided to fight for the last time. Accompanied by his kinsman Wiglaf and 10 warriors, he fought the dragon fiercely. While the lion-hearted Beowulf battled with courage, the 10 warriors ran in fear. Only Wiglaf dared to fight alongside the great hero. The two succeeded in killing the dragon, but Beowulf was deeply wounded. Eventually, the great hero died in a peaceful, honorable death. He commanded Wiglaf to rule after him. In honor of the late hero, they did their tributes and gave Beowulf a cremation. Wiglaf chastised the men who had run and left the king. After Beowulf was cremated, He was buried in the burrow with the dragons for his treasure.
Finally, our third champion is from grade 10 Kumiso. Give it up for Kyle Singson.
Have you ever tried sacrificing everything that you have? And all those sacrifices that you have done went in vain? Then if you happen to have those instances, then this story might relate to your experience. This story is about Orpheus and Eurydice. If Apollo was the greatest musician of the gods, Orpheus was supreme among the mortals. It was the music from Orpheus' lyre which saved all but one of the Argonauts from the temptation of the Sirens. As a result, his fame had spread far and wide over the land of Thrace, where his father was the king. At times he would wander out onto the countryside, playing as he went. The birds and wild beasts that roamed there would also draw close to listen and to follow him. Even the trees waved in the time of the tunes he played. It was while he was strolling along through the woods that he met the beautiful dryad, Eurydice, and brought her back to the palace to be his wife. Suddenly, a man named Aristus gestured upon Eurydice and said, "Come here, I will have a kiss from Orpheus' wife. Then we will see if he dares defy me." He strode forward, and Eurydice, terrified, turned and fled. The terrified woman swiftly ran through the trees, dodging first right, then left. Aristus' life as a hunter had made him a fine athlete, and he ran as fast as she, crashing through the thickets like a wounded boar. Eurydice could hear him from behind her. Her voice echoed through the woods as she cried out desperately for help, but there was no one near to hear. The only answer was a cruel laugh from behind her. Eurydice's heart was pounding, and it seemed at last she was drawing away from her pursuit. As the ground began to rise and trees became fewer, Aristus' footsteps grew more frequent. Presently, she scrambled upwards into the sunlight over a rock-strewn slope. At last, the footsteps had ceased. She continued upwards at the summit of the higher ground. From here, she would be able to see Aristus a long way. So she decided to take a rest for a while. Suddenly, when Eurydice was resting peacefully, a deadly viper which lived on the stony ground surrounding the place where the girl lay. It moved slowly over the warm earth by the flat-topped rock, its forked tongue darting in and out. One of her slender legs now bared the viper's path. The snake hissed and coiled its body quickly, raising its head to strike. Its fangs sunk deep, spreading their venom. But Eurydice did not wake. A bee droned lazily by and was gone, and then no more sound was heard. The poison had done its work. Orpheus was wondering where the woman went, and it was morning when they at last found her. Orpheus was inconsolable, and he found out that Eurydice was dead. His father tried to comfort him, but it was no use. Orpheus sat alone, playing sad tunes on his lyre, and thinking only of his lost love. Orpheus was a brave man, braver by far than the most, for he decided that he would enter Hades itself and fetch her back to earth from there. Everyone tried to dissuade him. Not even your wildest dreams should you consider going there, the king told his son. The dead are the dead, the living are the living. You are mad to think that you can change the way of the gods? Those who go to the underworld can never return, said the king. Orpheus was a stubborn man. Nevertheless, he set out, his lyre slung from his shoulder, his mind full only on Eurydice. He journeyed overland to Ionium in Thesprotis, which borders the Ionian Sea. He had heard that a narrow passageway led from here, far beneath the earth, to the river Styx. The river was the only barrier to Hades itself. He found the passageway and descended out of the sunlight into the gloom. At last, Orpheus reached the river of Styx. Charon the ferryman, waiting for his next cargo of the dead, did not expect a living cargo would show up there. Orpheus knew that it would not be easy to persuade Charon to take a living cargo, but trusting to the magical powers of his music, he struck a note on his lyre. A rare smile hit the stern face of the boatman. Charon the ferryman let Orpheus cross the river. On the other bank stood the guard dog Cerberus. But Orpheus's play suited even the fierce animal, and Cerberus, like Charon, allowed him to pass. In due course, Orpheus was brought before Persephone, the queen of the underworld. Before he spoke, he once more played his lyre, and the shades of the dead clustered near to hear his music. Persephone's heart was touched by his story and his music, and she agreed to let Eurydice return to Earth. But only on one condition, she told Orpheus. She must follow you behind as you go. If you turn around to see her even before she reaches the upper air, she must return here forever. Eurydice was brought back to them. The pair crossed the Styx safely and began the long climb up the passage of the surface of the earth. Orpheus was really tempted to look at Eurydice. A few minutes later, Orpheus was at the mouth of the cave, and the warmth of the sun was on his face. A great joy flooded through his whole being. He turned to take Eurydice in his arms. However, less strong than he, she had lagged some way behind him in the climb. He saw her dimly coming towards him, still in the shadowy passage. But even as he looked, she seemed to fade away, and then was gone. Orpheus regretted what he had done. He felt like all his sacrifices was left in vain. His temptation to see Eurydice once again has led to them not seeing each other forevermore.
time for the most awaited event of the program. Let us all witness the mesmerizing performances of this year's English Parade of Characters. Presenting our finalist. Depicting the arrogant deity of ancient Tagalog known as Goddess of Wind and Rain. Here's Maria Micaela Arteta of grade 7 as our Aniton Tabo.
Good day, everyone. Irene, a lover, Luzon. Because of me, a marriage with the little rain was believed to be blessed. I am superior to other deities, and people loved to offer me pinipig during Harvest Festival. I am the fickle-minded goddess, Anitun Tabu, the goddess of wind and rain of Zambales.
Portraying the god of the sea, one of the 12 Olympians feared as the provoker of earthquakes and worshipped as the creator of the horse. Here is Buen Viaje Javier of grade 10 Banson as the hot-blooded deity Poseidon.
Hello beautiful people, I am Jaber Buen Viaje from grade 10 Banzon. God of the sea, Poseidon. In ancient Greek religion, Poseidon is god of the sea, earthquakes, and horses. The name Poseidon means either husband of the earth or lord of the earth. He is considered one of the most bad-tempered, moody, and greedy Olympian gods. He was known to be vengeful when insulted. This is one of his famous quotes. He'll always remember this moment, the moment before everything changed.
To enchant us with the beauty of the primordial goddess of the night, the one who spawned the dark spirits including 3 fates, sleep, death, strife, and pain. Another beauty from grade 10 Banson, Scarlet Cricket Achapero, playing the role of Nyx.
Nyx is the Greek goddess of night and the daughter of chaos. She was told to be very beautiful. It is said that she was created near the beginning of time. Nyx has a shadowy figure which makes her the perfect personification of night. With her ability to bring sleep or death onto human race, she can impact mankind in a good or bad way. Nyx symbolizes moon and stars.
Darkness does not always equate to evil, just as light does not always bring good. Hi, my name is Scarlet Cricket Achapero from grade 10 Banzon, representing Nyx, the goddess of night.
To fascinate us with a character known for being a manipulative, villainous captain with suave personality and Peter Pan's wicked rival, here is Frio Lauren Bernard from Great and Alcala portraying Captain Hook.
I have waited long to shake your hands with this. Peter Pan, prepare to die doom!
Captain James Hook is a fictional character, the main antagonist of Peter Pan, the boy who wouldn't grow up, and its various adaptations in which he's Peter Pan's arch enemy. The character is a pirate captain of the brig Jolly Rogers. His 2 principal fears are the sight of his own blood, supposedly unnatural color, and the crocodile who pursued him after eating the hand cut off by Pan. An iron hook replaced his severed hand, which gave the pirate his name.
Let us now be charmed by the winged herald and messenger of the Olympian gods, known as the divine trickster. Here is French Sean Marinduque from Grade 10 Banson, playing the role of Hermes.
Baby girl, I'm the man from the big B. Hey, won't you come play round my way?
A pleasant day to all. My name is Fritz Sean David Tagalog Marinduque, and I am cosplaying Hermes, the messenger of gods. As above, so below. As within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. The punishment of desire is the agony of unfulfillment. Hermes is the winged herald and the messenger of the Olympian gods. In addition, he is also the divine trickster and the god of roads, flocks, commerce, and thieves. The precocious newborn, he invented the lyre and stole Apollo's cattle on the very first day of his life. Hermes was the only Olympian capable of crossing the border between the living and the dead.
And now, presenting our top 3 for this year's English Parade of Characters. Third place. Let us be mesmerized by the purple-winged god of the north wind, the god of winter who swept down from the cold mountains of Thrace. Here is Democles from Grade 10 Banson, chilling the air with his icy breath as Boreas.
Boreas was the purple-winged god of the north wind, one of the 4 seasonal anemoi. He was also the god of winter who swept down from the cold mountains of Thrace, chilling the air with his icy breath. Beyond his mountain home lay Hyperborea, a mythical land of eternal spring untouched by the god's wind.
Yasas, I am Boreas, the god of the north and winter. As John Banks said, blow, Boreas, foe to the humankind. Blow, blustering, freezing, piercing wind. Blow, that thy force I may rehearse, while all my thoughts congeal to verse. Hi, I'm the vocalist from Grade 10 Banzon.
Second place. Representing one of the 3 Gorgons, divine figure of ancient Greek mythology, famed for her snake-like hair and her gaze, which turns those who look at her to stone. Here is Avicilia Alia Marie from Grade 10 Banson, playing the role of the astonishing Medusa.
In Greek mythology, the most famous of the monster figures known as Gorgons, she was usually represented as a winged female creature having a head of hair consisting of snake, which had the power of turning into stone all who look upon it.
I am Alia Marie Avicilia from Grade 10 Banson, Medusa!
First place. To charm us with the Olympian goddess of wild animals, the hunt, vegetation, chastity, and childbirth, this year's grand champion for the English Parade of Characters, here is Sancho Ishi Murgret from Grade 10 Banson, portraying the bedazzling beauty of Artemis.
Greek religion, there was an pre-goddess, the daughter of Zeus and Leto, and the twin sister of Apollo, the goddess of wild animals, hunt, vegetation, chastity, and childbirth. Her symbol is golden bow and arrow. The lady in wild things, Artemis.
I will not have them punished. I will have them rewarded. If we destroy a hero we do us a great favor, then we are no than the Titans. If this is Olympian justice, I will have none of it. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Inchimuraget Sancho from Great and Julian Banzon, and I'm portraying the goddess of fun, Artemis.
Congratulations to all our winners and participants in this year's National Reading and Book Month celebration. Before we end our program, let us listen as she gives us her closing remarks. Our reading coordinator, Ms. Mary Ann M. Banyaga.
Before we end today's event, I would like to extend my congratulations to all the winners, participants, and of course, their parents and guardians for supporting this month-long reading celebration. Let me express my sincerest thanks to our bubbly and competent Education Program Supervisor in English and Journalism, Dr. Julieta De Jesus, to our loving and supportive school head, Sir Alfredo N. Sarabusab, to the equally talented and competent English teachers who worked tirelessly for this program's success. Maraming salamat po. We at Eastern hope that you will continue to cultivate your love of reading at home. Let us all remember that there are 6 important benefits of reading. First, reading boosts our intelligence. Second, through reading, you can become a better writer. Third, reading expands our knowledge. Fourth, reading improves our memory. Fifth, reading increases our creativity. And lastly, reading is the perfect avenue to find tranquility in this chaotic world. So, Sternians, what are you waiting for? Let's all grab a book and let's continue reading at home. Stay safe, everyone.
Indeed, as we quote a famous line from the all-time favorite American author Dr. Seuss, the more that you read, the more things that you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you will go. And that ends our National Reading and Book Month Celebration 2021. I am your host, Eliza May M. Alquiliera. Thank you and have a nice day.
I've been in a high, but I felt so low. Caught me with a knife and I did not know. I've been in a high, but I felt so low. Ain't funny. Never going back to the way I was. I wanna be trapped in the space of us. Never going back to the way I was. You got me.